Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. Early hours of the morning, UGM in Soludo's local government area in Anambra State decided to, give a quick reminder to the governor. Well, it looks like even the governor, Professor Charles Soludo, is unperturbed. Is not bothered on what they are doing. Rather, he is fully concentrated, not distracted, concentrated on what he gave as mandate, as deliverables to Anambra. In a moment, you're going to find out what he has decided to do, even hours after UGM visited his local government area, today. Well, before we do that, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it. You will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Don't forget the artist campaign. He made promises that he will make some areas that are known to be slums in Anambra to become a city to dwell. Well, this is the news. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, has invited owners of buildings in Okpoko and parts of Onitsha whose houses have been marked for demolition by his government. Soludo had, after his swearing in on 17th March, commenced work the following day at Okpoko, an area near Onitsha, which is said to be the largest urban slum in Nigeria. Are you serious? Is it worse than Lagos? Oshodi, let's continue. The governor has promised to ensure sanity in the area and also give residents good life. He followed it up by clearing refuse dumps in that area. And also promised to ensure the opening of Sakamori drainage in the area, which also led to the marking of some buildings sitting atop drainage channels for demolition. The governor, in a message signed by his deputy, Dr. Onyekachuku Ibezim, has announced that he will meet with all owners of the buildings marked for demolition on April 20th. The message read, and I quote, "The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, is inviting to a meeting all the landlords whose houses are standing on the part of Okpoko, Sakamori, and other drainages in Obaru, Onitsha North and South, which have been marked for removal. The meeting will hold on Wednesday, the 20th of April at Onitsha South Local Government Office by 12 noon. Said, please be prompt. Sources said that Soludo's government may be contemplating compensating those whose houses have been marked for demolition before action commences. And that is a wise decision, if you ask me. Yeah, because this is hard time, so that you don't increase your number of enemies, and don't forget that right now Nigerians are going through a lot economically. They're going through a lot security wise. You can imagine somebody who even if he's chanting, he built something and he's celebrating himself, finding himself, oh, finally I'm now a landlord, and all of a sudden, because there's a change of governance, he's gonna be a tenant, not just a tenant without hope. Some of them built that houses with probably the last money they got, pension, gratuity, some probably from the little handiwork they did, and all of a sudden they're going to be without a house. Come on, if care is not taken, they may likely want to join or pitch that thing to UGM to distort the government of the day. So it's commonsensical that Charles Soludo, the Professor Charles Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, should strike a meeting, so that troubled heart, bitter soul will not degenerate to strife and chaos in the state. What do I mean? Those whose house are affected, if you have C of O, okay, if there's some sort of documentation to show that you own the house, and maybe they could do what we call a market survey, know the value, estate value, probably know the value of the house. They may not pay you 100% of that house, but they could give you something you could smile home with, stay better than nothing. I feel that's what he should do, so that he doesn't increase or heighten the polity or make people get more enemies. He just started. 4 years is quite a long time. Starting by stepping on toes, even though it's for the general good of all, but then again, I feel he's stepping on toes a bit too early. Don't forget that it started with no seat at home. You lose that UGM have moved from where they used to be. They've moved straight to Anambra State, just to tell Soludo that if UGM, if sit at home has been abolished in the other parts of the country, it stands in Southeast and it begins in Anambra. And Soludo is strong will. I really commend him for trying to do this. This is something that the likes of Imo State was really trying to say I can curb. It didn't work. Maybe other governors are just watching him in 3D to see how effective this will be. Now, if you now add to UGM insecurity, now adds this issue of demolition of houses, it's going to increase his enemies. I'm just being practical here, but I'm being realistic. But now, if you want to look at the ideal situation, it's lovely. Everybody's going to be a win-win thing. Everybody's going to be happy. That slum that is called the biggest slum, urban slum in Nigeria, may become a city to behold. And Indian number they used to carry last. And so now with that, it's a good thing in general good of all in future, but for the now, prices needs to be paid. So I feel that compensation plan should come in place. And of course, for the records, in Behuze, what's that his name? Odumeje. Pastor Odumeje's house also have also been marked. He has been silent about it though. Quite a lot of people have been expecting him to, the liquid metal man to say something about it, but he has really, honestly, has been silent about it. And don't forget that during the campaign, you could still see Odumeje, doing one or two words here and there in favor. No, but he's quiet about it. But if there's going to be a meeting, we just hope also that Pastor Odumeje himself would be there, the clergyman will be there, so that maybe there will be. Well, if you look at Odumeje himself, I don't think he's a poor person. But another thing people are asking is that what if there's no CFO? What if it was a case of land grabbing? What if it's a case of community land being sold here and there? But whichever the case is, if you had gone through the land use act of that state, of that community, of that area, you will realize that that place was actually marked for drainage, but simply because some persons came around, met the place fallow and felt, well, nobody's looking, and maybe they've been living in the area, and maybe they, omonile here and there, you just bought it from some persons. You didn't bother to go down. It's also a lesson learned anyway. You didn't bother to go to the land use act to find out the land use map as in that area. What is it? What's the original plan from the inception? What's the original plan of that area? Because there will be a day the Pharaoh that knows not Joseph will mount on that seat, and when he does, he will refer back to the original document. And if you don't have anything, the highest you could get is just this thing that Soludo is trying to do: compensation. Whatever defeats you have built, whether good or bad, will be demolished. I guess that's we're going to wrap it up. It's a difficult call being made by Professor Charles Soludo, but then it's one that is highly needed, especially in that particular area. That's we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in the comment section, please. What's your opinion on this?